Paige, you're muted.
Have I been muted the whole time I've been talking? Well, what I said is this is the last call of 2022. And that's insane to me. Like, insane that we're moving into 2023 already. But what I want to talk about tonight is vision for 2023 in a brand new way, because something in me needs massive change, but massive change is going to look like simplicity in 2023. And I think everybody feels the same. I've talked to several of you about like our goals moving into 2023 and just things we're feeling inside of us, shifts that we want to make. And I feel like weirdly, a lot of people, like really everybody, not even just Beachbody people, are like on the same page that something has to be a little bit different next year about how we're operating. I don't know if it's a post-pandemic thing or what it is. The other thing that spurred this for me, and I said I was only going to talk about this once. I'm not really going to talk about it. It's just leading into why I want to talk about vision this way. And it's the fact that so many people are leaving Beachbody right now. And it makes me so sad because they're chasing something else that can exist right where we are. That's why it makes me sad. And I believe in Beachbody so much, you guys, so much. And I know that we have learning and growing and changing to do within our company, within our team, within our own businesses. But I believe we can do that right here, and we can make work feel really good again and not overwhelming, not something that takes all of our day, not something that we obsess over, but something that feels really good. And I feel like the change with Health Esteem, it's an invitation to change stuff about our businesses too. It's an invitation to change how we operate on a day-to-day basis in our businesses, to make our businesses feel just as good as our health journeys are. Like, I think that should all go together, and it is time for change. What we've done hasn't worked anymore. I mean, it did work at one time, but we need to shift. We need to make some changes. So I'm just going to share my screen with you. Not that. Okay. What I want to talk about is growing and serving in 2023. And like I said, I think we can take a new approach to vision where it feels good to get where we want to go. In the past, our vision calls have looked a lot like dreaming the entire time, and me asking, what is your goal for 2023 or the next year, and where do you want to be at the end of the year? Like, dream big. The sky is the limit. What do you want to achieve? How much money do you want to make? What rank do you want to be at? Like, what do you want to feel like on a day-to-day basis? Do you want to leave your job? Do you want to buy a boat? Do you like, it's been all of these things that are these massive goals. And I'm going to tell you, those things are good. Those things are necessary. And I'm still thinking about my massive goals. But that's not going to be my focus moving into 2023. I'm not going to sit down and make a board this year with all of the things that I want to check off and be like, I accomplished that this year for next year. That's worked in the past. It really has. And I've sat here and I've had you make those boards too. But I'm hopeful that you'll be on board with me and we're going to do something a little bit different this year. So I believe that health esteem really is going to change everything. If you don't feel that, you need to rewatch the video on YouTube from Carl. If you don't follow Carl, you need to follow Carl, because he is our fearless leader that is paving the way for change. And I'm telling you right now, sitting at leadership, it felt different and it felt good. And that's the way our businesses are going to feel this year too. So as I was thinking about this, I was thinking, like, it is so easy for us to get wrapped up in Success Club boards, the Success Club trip, rank, being a diamond, losing diamond, gaining diamond, 2-star, leadership, NLC, all of these things. It's so easy to get wrapped up in those things. But as I was thinking about it, I'm like, measuring our business's success off of that is no different than striving for a Beachbody or measuring our own results in our health journey based off of whether or not we have this perfect body. Like, none of us do that. I don't think we do that. And if we did do that in the past and we've been a coach for any amount of time, we've likely overcome a lot of that. And if you're new to Beachbody, you're probably working on overcoming that, because that's really not the way Beachbody operates. That's not how our programs are. That's not what the trainers talk about. Like, that's not what we do. So why do we do that with our businesses? Why do we feel like when we go into the month that we're like nervous or anxious, like we have to work our butts off at the beginning of the month to hit Success Club? And then once we hit Success Club, we feel like we can relax. Why is it that way? Why do we think about Diamond every single day, but then don't hit Diamond? Why have a lot of us had goals this year to rank advance, and we're sitting here at the end of the year, haven't moved? And I'm going to tell you, I'm one of those people. I haven't rank advanced in 2 full years at this point. And do I love that? No. I would like to rank advance. But history has told me that focusing on rank advancing and making a goal next year, saying I want to be 10-star again, isn't going to work. Like, it didn't work this year. That was on my vision board. So that's a cue to me that I have to change something about the way I walk into 2023. So I want to realign how we think about goals. And I want to be clear, okay? This does not mean that we are taking our foot off the gas. It does not mean that. I want us to have the best year yet. I want your business to grow more than it's ever grown. And more than that, I want your income to grow more than it's ever grown. And I've told a couple of you, that's one of my focuses going into 2023, is helping people make paychecks. That has never been a focus of mine. And I think I have some personal development to work through for why that's never been a focus of mine. But this year, that is a focus. So I'm going to ask you to do some reflecting. If you need to get out a piece of paper, that's fine. If you just want to think, that's fine. If you want to do it on your computer and type things out, that's great. I don't care. But I want you to think about flowing into next year from this year, okay? It's kind of hard to explain what's in my brain, but every single year, it feels like January 1st is this big, massive thing. Like, everything is going to change when the clock strikes midnight, or everything is going to change when I wake up on January 1st and it's a brand new year. And it never ceases to amaze me. I'll be doing some random task on January 1st, and it's like, this feels like yesterday. Like, it doesn't feel like I thought it was going to feel. And you'd think, after 30 January 1st in my lifetime, I would start to know that January 1st isn't this magical day where everything changes and I start to do all the things that I said I was going to do. Like, that's not how it ever works. So we're going to treat January 1st kind of like a continuation of December 31st. And we're going to ask ourselves, how can we grow from 2022 into 2023, rather than thinking of 2023 as a blank slate we get to start all over again? We're not going to think of it like that. It's just the next day, okay? So my question to you is, what did you struggle with this year? And I'm going to give you some time to think. I put some things. It could be in any area of your life. Think about in your home. Think about in your friendships. Think about in your relationships. Think about your marriage. Think about your parenting. Where did you struggle? I'm going to give you a few minutes to just think about that or write. You can also think about your health journey too with this one, like nutrition, working out, sorts of things. All right, my next question for you is, who do you want to be a year from now? I think a lot of times when we talk about vision, we talk about things that we want to receive or things that we want to achieve. And while those things are not bad, I don't want those things to be our focus. I really want one huge part of what we do in 2023 is to think about how we can grow personally. One, because I mean, that's a huge part of our job, is just growing personally. And two, because I think you might be shocked with the ways that the ways that you struggled this year that really had nothing to do with your business. I think you would be shocked how those things bled into your business and impacted your business. So I'm going to give you a second. If you need to go a little bit more detailed in the ways you struggled, you can do that. So, like, for example, one of the things I wrote was home management. I mean, that's so broad. So I'm going to write a little bit under that one and say, like, what specifically did I struggle with home management? And for me, like, an example would be keeping up with laundry, or just like consistency in deep cleaning, like those sorts of things. So get specific in how you struggled, and then spend a few minutes journaling, I guess is the best way to do it, or thinking, or whatever you need to do to think about who you want to be and how you want to grow in 2023. Okay. You maybe did include this in the things that you struggled with, but I want you to think more specifically about business now. Okay. I'm hoping that you focus mostly on just personal stuff with the first prompt. But now I want you to think about, what was your biggest struggle in growing your business this year, or serving in your business? And I gave you some examples here. Was it social media? Did you struggle to be consistent with social media? Did you struggle to have a plan? Did you struggle to enjoy it? Did you struggle with your niche, knowing who you're talking to? Challenge groups. Did you enjoy your challenge groups this year? Did you hate your challenge groups this year? Did you do challenge groups this year? Are you leading it by yourself? Are you leading it with somebody? Did you feel like they were stagnant? Did you make a goal to rank advance and didn't recruit hardly any coaches this year? Or maybe you recruited coaches this year and you wanted to do that, but you didn't feel like you recruited anybody that is your person. Maybe it has to do with the way you led your new coaches. You had new coaches, you felt like they were great coaches, but you felt like you didn't know how to lead, or you didn't lead as well as you could have or wanted to. Did you lack in consistency in your business with the tracker, or any of your daily habits that are going to grow your business? Did you lack in consistency with your workouts, or did you lack in consistency in nutrition, because that's part of your job? Did you lack in your consistency with personal development? Do you understand the compensation plan? If you wanted to grow your income this year, did you learn actually how you need to grow it, or what you need to do to grow your income? Do you understand how you can make more money next year? Were you upset with your paychecks this year? Did you make less than you made last year? Did you obsess over your rank and then still not achieve that rank? Did you obsess because you were a rank and you dropped rank? Are you frustrated with how much you thought about rank and it stole your joy? Did you struggle with belief this year? Like you want to be successful, but you have a really hard time believing that you can be successful. Like those are just a few examples. Maybe you have something else in mind, and that's fine. But I want you to take time and do the same thing. Just write down a few things that you feel like you really struggled business-wise. Ooh, one I would like to add to that is product retention. Okay, I apologize if I'm going a little fast, but this will be recorded. If you need time to go back, you can rewatch it, or just write down the things that you need a little more time for and go back to those. So my next question is, who/how do you want to serve in 2023? What I want to ask here is, the who is sort of the niche. Okay, you're probably not going to zero in on this tonight, but this is something that I want to start talking about a lot in 2023, not so we can obsess over it, but so we know who the heck we're talking to. Like, we can't serve everybody, and you're going to serve people best when you know what you're actually helping them with, because it gives you targeted content. So you need to start really thinking about, what kind of person can you help with a health and fitness journey? Who do you feel confident that if they come to you, like they have these specific struggles, you know how to say, hey, I have the answer to that. And it's probably exactly who you used to be when you started, or it's who is struggling with the things that you've already overcome, or you're overcoming now even. And if you've been in it for a while, it can change. Like when I started, I wasn't staying home with kids. There's no way in heck I could have helped somebody who was staying home with kids when I was a teacher. Not well, anyway. Not saying you can't help them, but I definitely wasn't going to create content around that when I was a teacher. Now that I'm a stay-at-home mom and work from home mom, I could speak to that and I could help those people. That's not necessarily who I want to talk to or serve. But the idea here is you're able to speak to that when you're making content, and you're able to speak to that in your challenge groups and provide value instead of always feeling like you're just like pulling at straws. Like it's really hard to feel confident about how you're helping people if you're talking so broad. And then my second question is, how do you want to serve in 2023? And what I think about here still is social media. And I also think a lot about challenge groups. How can you serve differently next year or better next year so it helps you help them and feel confident that you're helping them do exactly what you said you were going to do. And when you're done working for the day, you can say, I know I served well today, and I can turn off my phone, put it away, and be proud of the work I did, rather than feeling like you were just like all over the place all day long, which I am guilty of a lot. So just take a second and maybe journal about that too, or type whatever you need to do. On this one thing I also want you to think about is how you can help people and serve people with products. And I know that's not something we've talked about very often, but I feel like the opportunity is so there coming into the next year, how we can get Success Club points with basically creating our own like our own little packages. Like we don't just have to sell challenge packs anymore. You can sell, I think it's 125 PV. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's 125 of anything, and you get a Success Club point. So I want you to start thinking about, what do you use on a regular basis from Beachbody that you love? How do you use it? How is it helpful with your lifestyle? And like, how does it fit into your health and fitness routine? And how can you start sharing more about that so you can help people solve their problems with our products and also start making more money doing it? Like, I don't know about you guys, but that post that I made the other day in Fit for More about Energize, I'm like, most of us probably don't live without Energize. I use Energize every day, like we all do. And we can help people and make more money if we start talking about Energize more and we are more strategic about it and we help people realize the value of it so they keep ordering it. Like, it's a big deal. So I want you to start thinking about products and how you can use them to serve as well. Okay. This is really what's on my mind is at Summit, I can't even remember her name. I think maybe it was Trina Gray. she said something about, I think she's a 15-star diamond, I don't remember all her accolades, which, like we said, those are not the most important, but we achieve goals 1 inch at a time, literally 1 inch. And if we can't be super intentional with right now, we're never going to look back and say, I did so well over the last year. I achieved so much, because it truly is 1 day, 1 minute, 1 hour, 1 week at a time. We can't have these lofty goals and like think about the end goal all year long and expect to get there. Like, we have to focus on today and figure out what we're doing today, right now, have a plan. And then I think we're going to be shocked at the end of the year when we look back and say, holy crap, like I wasn't focused on achieving 5-star this year, but I achieved 5-star this year because I did all the things every day to the best of my ability. So I want to ask you, what does your day-to-day need to look like next year? Actually, not even next year. Like, if you're going to work this week, I'm going to work probably like tomorrow and Tuesday and take off, and you should too. You really should. But don't wait. What do your days need to look like to grow and serve to the best of your ability? Like, I really want you to focus on a day at a time. What does your morning routine need to look like? For me, it needs to be stop pressing snooze. What time do you need to get up? What do you need to do in your morning routine on a regular basis? How can you be disciplined in the morning, even if you're not a morning person, at me, to set your day up for success? What do your work hours need to look like? Because I'm telling you, you don't have to work more hours to see more success in Beachbody. I've told you guys this a lot already, but my business grew most when I was a teacher. And I really don't think that's an accident. I was intentional. I was clear about what I was doing. I had something outside of Beachbody that was also like taking up my time and taking my mental energy. So I didn't have time to obsess or overthink anything. I just did what I needed to do. We need to have work hours. Like, I get the pockets of your day type of work, and that's fine. But I think pockets of your day can also lead to being really unorganized in your work. So if you're going to work in pockets of your day, that can work. But how are you going to be intentional in those pockets of your day, rather than 30 minutes passes and you're like, oh, all I've done with my work time today is scroll reels? What are your work hours going to look like? And when they're over, they need to be over, because it's leading to burnout for all of us. Like, get off of your phone, get off social media, work when you need to work, and then go live. The next thing is boundaries too. What are your boundaries going to look like next year? It's similar to work hours, okay? You don't need to respond to people if you don't want to. If your work hours are 11 p.m., whatever. But we don't have to work. Like, I find myself waking up and immediately grabbing my phone and answering a question about Beachbody. That's ridiculous. That should not be the first thing we're doing. It should not be the last thing we're doing. We shouldn't, like, we can have boundaries with this work. We should have boundaries with this work. It's so easy to do it anywhere and everywhere, but we don't need to be doing it anywhere and everywhere. Like, the reason most of us wanted to do this in the first place is because it's a job that we can do on our own time and we don't have a boss, and we've all of a sudden become a slave to our phones. I hope I'm not just speaking about myself. I feel like this is a lot of the reason that people are leaving, because people are saying all of these things, and it's like, no, this is not Beachbody's problem. This is our problem, and we can fix it. And Beachbody can become like full of joy again, and we can move forward still in our businesses if we implement some of these things. Okay. The next thing in your day-to-day, how can you be intentional, super intentional with your social media and your challenge groups and leading your teams? What can that look like next year? And believe me, I know you probably are not going to have all of the answers tonight, or even by the weekend, or maybe not even by January 1st, and that's okay. But you need to start being intentional with your time. And a big part of that is so you can serve well. But another part of that is if you become really intentional with your time on social media, it's a lot easier to sign off, because you can feel confident about what you did. If you become really intentional in your challenge groups, it's super easy to put your phone away at night because you're like, I did all I could do today. And I feel really proud of the work I did. I encouraged people, I added value, and you feel great about putting your phone away. And you don't go to bed feeling like you didn't do enough. And you don't wake up feeling scattered because you've been intentional. And same with leading your team. Intentionality will lead to better rest for us because we'll know that we did all we could do. Next thing, Caitlin Miller inspired is a nightly routine. What can you do each night to settle down, to like get your phone out of your hands, to just relax and to rest and actually restore each and every single night? And then the last thing for our day-to-day is personal development. What is your personal and professional development going to look like in 2023? That's something I'm going to talk about more probably on a separate team call. But how can your personal development be more meaningful? How can it have more of a flow to it instead of just like, grabbing random stuff all of the time? If you can master your daily plan, you're going to master the whole year. And that's really, really what I want to focus on. Though, I can't do a vision call without at least a little dreaming. So I also want you to think about, what do you want? Like truly, what do you want? Because the business can lead to anything. It is not going to be the focus of our year, but it is something I want you to think about. And I should have added up the hours, but I kind of lost time today. I was thinking about the call, and I was holding Colby and I was looking at Brooks, and I was like, because I decided to go all in with this business, the number of hours I've had with my children already in the short 2 years that I've been a mom is insane. Because if I had been a teacher still, like I need to add up the hours, because it's a lot of hours that I have gained in my children's lives because Beachbody worked out very well for me and because the income is there. I need to be very clear that I would not do this for free, and you should not do this for free either. And you can make a very nice income with Beachbody. My husband is a principal, and I still make more money than him as a Beachbody coach, raising my children with 2 babies on my hips. Like, that is a gift, you guys. The financial piece of the business is a gift, and it is okay to lean into it. What can you do with your life if you make a full-time income with Beachbody, whatever that looks like, and it doesn't take you all day? What can your life look like? Or what can your life look like if you love your current full-time job? You're a teacher, or you're a nurse, or whatever it is that you're doing. You love it full-time, but then you make a second full-time income on top of that one. What could you do with it? How could you bless people? What would you use that income for? Because that's real. That can happen. It won't happen by accident, but it can happen. Okay, the last thing for tonight, and I want you to go ahead and screenshot this, take a picture of this, because this is going to be your task. And I just want these. If you're a go-getter and you want to do it this week, that's great. But I'm probably going to do like a little drawing for people who do it. It'll be after the new year though, because I don't want anybody to have to like think about all of this and have it done. I want you to make a grow and serve board for the year, not a vision board. I want you to print pictures that represent the things you thought about tonight, the ways you want to grow, who and how you want to serve, and what your day-to-day is going to look like. And you can do this however you want. I have a couple ideas. For me, I think I want to do a grow and serve board with images. And then I think I want something like a daily checklist, but not quite that like boxed in. I don't know. I'm going to have something in my house to remind me of how I want each day to go. And I'll share when I come up with it, but I haven't come up with mine either. So I want you to print those pictures and make a grow and serve board. It's going to look just like a vision board. It just has a different purpose. I want you to post it in Fit for More. I will make a post and you'll comment below. You'll see that. I'm not going to do it probably even this week. I don't want to worry about it this week. Maybe like the last week of the year, I'll do that. And I want you to seek to make 2023 all about growing and truly serving, because I think you're going to be shocked if you focus on those things where your business will be this time next year. Make sure you take a picture of that. I'm going to stop my share.